Welcome to Transformational Vedic Astrology. My name is Michael Mastro with VastuCreations.com, American Institute of Vastu.com. We're going to be talking about the chart for Kobe Bryant, who sadly passed away in a terrible helicopter accident with his daughter and team members of his daughter family. So if we were to look, he was born on August 23rd, 78 at 5 p.m. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. If we were to look to the eastern horizon when he was born, you find the constellation associated with Sagittarius rising at 16 degrees. 16 degrees becomes the most effective point of every house. Any planet that is within 5 degrees of that 16 degrees, like Mars, and also let's see, Mars and Moon, they have more impact in his life, either positive or negatively. So we're going to look first at to see how the planets are operating, and we're going to see when they're operating, and then we're going to look at what we could do to rectify the chart. So first, we look to see the Multikona signs. A planet rules two signs. Many of the planets rule two signs, except for Sun and Moon, and they only rule one sign. But one of the signs that they rule, there's more of an affinity. And so, for example, like Libra is ruled by Venus and Taurus is ruled by Venus. But Libra is the Multikona sign for Venus, etc. So yeah, Mercury rules two signs, and it rules Virgo and Gemini. And Virgo is the Multikona sign for Mercury. So the Multikona signs are 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 11. And wherever you see those Multikona signs in a chart, each of these houses, these little squares, represent some area of your life. So those are the areas where you see the Multikona signs that you came here to work on in this lifetime. So you see the ninth sign of Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter in the first house: life purpose, longevity, self-confidence, personality, the body. In that first house, that's what he came to work on. Then in the third house, ruled by Aquarius, Saturn is the planetary ruler. And so business and communications, entrepreneurial success, performing arts, in his case, sports. Then you see the fifth house ruled by Aries, having Aries there in the fifth house, ruled by Mars. So Mars becomes this house: children, education, investments, creativity, all part of this house. And then sports also is included in this house. Entertainment. So sports is entertainment. Then you see the fourth sign of Cancer, ruled by Moon, eighth house. Eighth house has to do with accidents, death-like experience, transformation, windfalls, inheritance, and deeper meaning of life, learning to transform vulnerability into strength. Ninth house is ruled by Leo, or it has Leo in the ninth house, ruled by Sun. Sun is in its own house. This is the house of good fortune, learning, teaching, teachers, government, father. Then you see the seventh sign of Libra in the 11th house. This is income, friendships, fulfillment of desires. So these are the main things he's working on in this lifetime. So now we'll look and see how the planets are operating. So any functional malefic Multikona sign found in the 6th, the 8th, or the 12th house, those are the Dustana, or houses that cause challenges, become malefic. So here you see in the 8th house, nothing in the 6th or the 12th, but in the 8th house you have Cancer ruled by Moon. Moon becomes malefic, can cause challenges in his life. Not necessarily always, but can. And even the benefic planets, which are the rest of them except for Rahu and Ketu, they usually give positive results, but in certain transits they can cause some issues as well. So here, Sun is at 6 degrees. It is ruling this. It's in its own sign, which makes it very powerful. It's ruling the house of good fortune. So it gives good fortune through father. Got good support from his father, who was also an NBA player and a coach. And he gave him leadership skills. And again, support from father. Moon is at 14 degrees. It's close to the most effective point. So it's affecting the house of continuation of the marital bond. He had some issues in relationship. And it's causing some drama in his life. Moon is placed in, it's not aspecting that house. Moon is in the 5th house, and it's actually aspecting the house of friendship. So there was some issues with friends. And then causing some affliction for children. His daughter died in the accident with him. Okay, so then let's see. And he had a lot of stress with his mom, even later in life. She wanted to sell the house he grew up in, and he tried to stop her from selling it. Let's see. Let's see here. So it connects higher education, the public, working with the public, sports, and that also can cause some challenges in marriage. And Moon also gave him, he spoke Italian, Spanish, and English, and maybe one other language, give him that skill. Mars, another one of his best planets. Sun is really the best planet, but Mars is giving him, it's conjunct Venus, and it's in the house of career, ruling this house of creativity and entertainment. So sports also. So career through sports. And gives him courage. And it also, this blesses 4, 7, and 8 houses away. So it's blessing life purpose, it's blessing entrepreneurial success, business and communication, and blessing the family. So, but also at certain points can cause some stress because Mars can be inflammatory. So give a temper sometimes. Mercury is at 28 degrees. It's debilitated in the Devamsa chart. It's weak in degrees because it's in old age. More than 25 degrees and less than 5 is infant state and old age. These can reduce the strength of a planet. And being in this Dusthana house, this 8th house of challenges, makes them weak as well. So Mercury gave him great intellect, but very critical of himself and his teammates, and didn't get along. Not a team player for part of his career. Didn't get along with the other players. Very critical. Jupiter is exalted, but also in this challenging house. So it's children. And life purpose. And so gives him, and this is also longevity. So it weakened his, he died at 41 in an accident. So weakened his longevity. Gives some abilities to teach and coach, inspire other people. Venus is at 22 degrees. It's debilitated. And so it's ruling the income house and in the career house. So I think it added to his career success in sports. Legendary basketball player. Saturn is at 9 degrees, and it's blessed by Sun. And Saturn is this business communication. He got very involved in media and giving interviews and sports commentating. So he had good success in that. This is also the house of hands. So the strength of his hands. Venus actually, I forgot to mention, is beauty. So he's a very handsome guy. And it gave him a very supportive wife and good income. And again, through the sports. So, but also it's debilitated. So some relationship issues with teammates and his wife. I think she filed for divorce a couple times. So Saturn is again ruling the house of business and communication. He also so gave him dexterity with his hands, and gave him a bit. He was very philanthropic. He helped the homeless people, charities to homeless people. And Rahu and Ketu in this relationship gives you're always trying to balance work and home life. So Saturn gave him a lot of discipline. He really worked hard to perfect his craft, his basketball game, and even so much discipline that he could even play when he was in a lot of pain and injured. He actually tore his Achilles tendon in a game and got up by himself. You normally can't put any weight on it, and he went on to throw 3 throws that won the game. So those are how the planets are operating. Let's look at when they're operating. 96, he was drafted in the NBA during a Sun period, giving him, good popularity and success there, good fortune. Became MVP in 2008 during a Mars sports period. Mars is sports. He got a knee injury in 2003 and also got arrested within a week. Knee surgery, and that was during a Moon Saturn period. This is drama, litigation, and injury, accident. Then an arrest, could be part of that as well. The charge was dropped after he made a big payment, I think, during a Mercury period. Mercury also just causing some issues with this challenging house. Then he died on January 26, 2020 in a terrible helicopter accident with his daughter and other teammates and their parents. So if that was during a Rahu-Saturn period. So Rahu is unexpected events. Saturn is the indicator for longevity. So longevity cut short at 41 years old. Now, if we look at the transit chart at that time, what's going on here? Let's look at the transit chart. So we can see when he died was Sunday, January 26, 2020. And we can see what's happening here. So the outer circle is where the planets were on that day, the transiting planets, and then the inner circle is the natal, where the planets were in what house when he was born. And we can look over here and actually see the degrees. So these are the day he died, the ascendant, the rising sign degree is 16. Rahu and Ketu are at 14 degrees in the transit chart. So within 2 degrees. So a lot of impact. They were afflicting 6 out of his 12 houses. K2 is afflicting Jupiter. Jupiter is children and represents the first house of longevity. K2 is unexpected calamities. So that alone, Rahu is also afflicting Jupiter, K2. They're always opposite each other. So that alone could create injury to the body, basically. This is the body, longevity. So other things going on were, let's see, Moon, which is the death-like experiences, is afflicting natal Mercury, and Mercury is career, and it's in the house of death-like experiences. Let's see here. I think those are the main things for the chart. See Mars also at the most close to the most effective point in the house of end of life. So there was a fire from the helicopter going down. So yeah, that's the main things for this chart. If you'd like to learn more, get a reading done, you can go to VastuCreations.com under services, because you can see this is very accurate and very helpful. If you wanted to learn more about transformational Vedic astrology, you can go to American Institute of Vastu.com. We have 2 levels, a certification level as well. And what can we do to improve this chart? Well, Rahu and K2, as well as Moon, need to be transformed because they can cause challenges. So he was already doing the charity work, which would be supportive of Rahu, helping the homeless people. K2 would be support spiritual organizations. Rahu would be listening to Shiva chants on Saturdays. K2 would be listening to Ganesh chants on Thursdays. And Moon would be listening to Shiva chants on Mondays, and not wearing white clothing, not wearing brown clothing or silver clothing, but also strengthening the other planets because he has some debilitated Venus, etc. So you can strengthen the planets with gemstones. You could strengthen Jupiter with a yellow sapphire, Mercury with a emerald, Sun with a ruby, Saturn with a blue sapphire, Venus with a diamond. Or you could wear a kavash, which is a locket that contains the Devata yantra for all of these planets. So those would be very helpful to protect his longevity, which is Jupiter and Saturn. So that would have been helpful for him. Again, thanks again for listening. Take care.